Hello and welcome to this video, which is episode 16 of my Comprehending Consciousness series. My name is Allie with amariespeaks.com, and I have created this series as hopefully just a bridge or gateway for people who are newly waking up or newly interested in the spiritual world or self-growth, evolution, spirituality, or the 5D, or ascension, all these kind of really great and really inspiring kind of new ideas that are taking hold of society, right? So today's episode is number 16, and it is going to be all about self-love. I title this video Self-Love versus Self-Centered, kind of to go along with my original video, Waking Up versus Being Woke, because there is such a inversion happening. And I think will always happen. It's very natural. We live in a dualistic world, right? Everything that we think of comes through this beautiful filter of comparisons and contrasts. So, new things, new concepts, or old ones, even recycled, can sometimes spark this immediate oppositional line of thought, or fear, even, or worry, that the concept is going to be distorted to the extreme that you've immediately jumped to, right? So if you haven't watched any of my previous episodes and you are like super new to waking up and you're feeling a need for self-love, or you have some trauma, or maybe you're feeling a little self-centered and guilty, and you're looking to change yourself, right? So you've seen the title and you've clicked on it. Please just know that this entire topic and this frame of thinking and comparisons requires us to step back out of ourselves a bit, out of the character, the role that we play, Allie, who I am in my life, mother, wife, sister, daughter, all these things. We're asking ourselves to step out of this kind of, and to take the observer's role, and to look as objectively, with as little bias as possible, when we're making these kind of, when we're doing this kind of examination. So, excuse me, if you're new to that, then take it slow, and possibly go watch a few of my earlier videos about waking up and about alignments and sovereignty and things, because those are really crucial foundational points that I'm not really going to touch on here in this video. But if you're missing that beautiful fertile ground underneath you to build your house upon, you're going to run into a lot of issues. So if you feel like perhaps your ground that you're standing on isn't really solid and fertile and ready to be growing a garden within, right? Then maybe before you work on your self-love garden, you can go and do some introspective work and think about your own sovereignty as a soul, and what your purpose is and here on this journey, right? Because just having a firm foundation of that, being rooted in any kind of faith and in a knowing of oneness or of your journey here, whatever you choose to see it as, even if it's like simulation theory and you're Ready Player One, as long as you have a firm foundation of whatever that you can stand for and stand in, then this video is for you. We can totally talk about self-love versus being self-centered all day long. But if you have this immediate, already filtered set of self-indulgence, conceit, a heavy bias, liar loops, blinders on, cognitive dissonance, ignorance in your own life, to really blatant problems, then this is a bit advanced, I'll say. And you really have to do that internal work with your foundation first before you can really start to assess and take on the nuances, that we're going to talk about here. Okay? So with my little disclaimer out of the way, I guess, I am going to get started. So when we talk about self-love, we really are tapping into unconditional love. And for so many people, it can kind of be like, well, what does that even mean? Or we think we have like a grasp of it, but because we are not living continuously from our heart centers, really gaining a true understanding and a feeling for it, and learning how to ride the bike, so to speak, of unconditional love, it can be very difficult, right? And so many of us are learning this, and I'm speaking from experience, because it's just like riding a bike. Probably fell off and busted myself up for 5 years now or longer, falling and getting back up. So I just want to impress on everybody here the intense commitment that it takes to yourself to really get involved with the practice of self-love. This is why I think, so many people stay in the fluffy upper crust of this like conceited, shallow, self-absorbed, self-centered life, right? Where things are super materialistic, where you're very concerned with face value and instant gratification. I feel when we are trying to draw lines here, and I'm trying to speak slowly and mindfully, because I really don't want to offend anybody, and I really don't want to deter anyone from introspection at any angle, right? Because sometimes I think when we make these verses comparisons, it's so easy to get in this put on a pedestal, this is better than this, we're trying to get this side to win, I'm trying to prop self-love up and make you believe that it's better than, or and that self-absorption is like less and bad and don't do it. However, that isn't really the case, and I don't want to give off that vibe. So I'm trying to speak slowly, and I'm trying to choose my words carefully, trying to keep in mind, multitude of levels of different individuals who could access this video and listen to it. So I want to just quickly talk about unconditional self-love, and so people can kind of understand what it is and the types of frequencies, feelings, and commitments that it involves. So self-love from an unconditional level really gets down to the nitty-gritty. It's really about acceptance of all pieces of what you are. The good, the bad, the faults, your affinities, just as they are, and not overindulging in them or throwing a pity party around the ones that you don't feel great about. It's being able to look at your reflection, look at who you are, and just say, I love you for who you are. With no, because of this, or if you do this, no strings attached, no expectations, no anchors to the past, or old little wounds that are like, sparking up when you say that to yourself. this can be really, really difficult, because we have been really conditioned and told and shown that self-love is pride, it's conceit, it's being full of yourself, it's generally like arrogance, or not seen as like a kind, loving, empathetic person if you like are all full of yourself, right? And I will say to that, it is so important to love everything about yourself, and to have pride about things that you feel good about. Why not? Showcase them to the world, and feel free to do that. However, like I've noted so many times across so many videos, the intention of the energetic exchange and the alchemy work that's happening within you is the entire flavor that you're working within your reality space. And it sets the tone and the frequencies of all interactions, not only between others, like in your direct world, but all the interactions within your energy centers in your own body, within all of your, the multi-dimensional selves within you, with your future, with your ancestors, with your past. All of these things coexist in a magical, mysterious way that, isn't really so important that we nail down and explain. But know that it very much happens, and that when you notice and are conscious about the energetic intention that you're holding while you're, doing everything you're doing, that really is all that matters. That sets the tone. It really doesn't matter about the words that you speak, the body language that you try to show. That is all an afterthought to the original energy and to the original intention. So self-love versus conceit is foundational in that way as well. If you are coming from a positive space of love and service, say to your inner child, or to that inner critic, or to some wounded part of you, or even some great part of you that you have inside you. Maybe you have a beautiful artist in there, or a wonderful innovator and inventor inside of you. If you are assessing and working with that individual from a space of empathy, caring, acceptance, openness, love, appreciation, admiration, right? Those kind of feelings of love. That's intention that is positively energized, right? Now, on the opposite spectrum, if your self-love is coming from a needing space, if it is an outwardly focused, I need people to see me, to fill my cup, I'm empty, I'm not enough, I need light, I need love from you, can you see what I did, praise me for this, and then of course we're hiding other things that we're not proud of, that we don't want others to see, right? Deflecting around them or puffing them up to make them better than they are, right? There's a complete lack of acceptance as is from this energetic standpoint. It is a negatively aligned energetic standpoint, right? It's a debit on your energetic bank, so to speak. It is in need of more. It is wanting. It is asking for credit out there from others, right? And unfortunately, when self-love comes from that kind of place, it builds into us in this, in a greedy kind of way, which creates self-absorption, egocentric kind of, cocky way, that arrogance that we don't like to see, and that is rooted in this initial distortion that you're refusing acceptance of certain things. Usually false mistakes, things you're shameful of, or things that society doesn't exactly accept, right? You're conforming, bending your original truth and light in a certain ways to look more appealing to the collective or society or your parents or, you know, your ego, because a lot of times it's ourselves who are really at the end of the day running all of those control mechanisms and all of those roles of these masks that we put on. You know, it's ourself forcing us to be this actor. You know, yes, you know, we've talked ourselves into it because our dad wants us to be this way, or our boss, or the person that we admire and love, or society in general, or whatever it is, right? The exterior is forcing something on us, and there's always the underlying notion of the lie, and I'm gonna really try to wrap up this self-love versus self-absorption here with this perfect question for us to always ask, and I ask myself this as well all the time, to try to assess and understand where my thoughts are coming from, where my feelings are coming from, reactions and responses, you know, conceptions I have about certain things, you know, creations I make, writings, videos, all of these things that I see as beautiful acts of creation, co-creation between myself, my inner self, source, you know, the great other and the collective out there as well. And so I am always asking myself, am I making this creation, this thought, this interaction or conversation with strings attached? Do I have expectations here? Am I setting this out to be free and accepted as is, and to be crumpled or played with or dropped or turned around or reconstructed or laughed at? Is it free to be whatever it is? Or am I hovering over it? Am I expecting things? Am I shielding it? Am I worried about how others are going to be perceiving that? Because when I'm asking myself those kind of questions, I'm checking, do I have energetic entanglements with this? Am I creating something that I am now the controller of out there? Am I going to be expecting myself energetically to be monitoring and running and micromanaging that thing out there, or that person, or their, you know, their conception of me, or societies, or whatever it is, you know? I'm trying to keep it general to help all types of people in all types of situations. But when I am, anytime, you know, that I am feel like I could be seeking external validation for anything, or whenever I am taking part in a creation or project that involves like the external world, I really always try to be mindful about which intention, where I'm coming from, right? Am I openly offering my beautiful energy and creation as is because, you know, I'm a free creator and I love myself as is, and yeah, I can make mistakes and bad things and move on, and I can make 105 different ones after it, and you know what, maybe I will love the 22nd one the most, who knows? You know, but to give myself that freedom in all places, in all times, is that beautiful original act of self-love. And if I'm not, right, if I find myself worried about others' expectations, worried about my personas or how I'm being perceived or my appearance or whatever, if I have outlying, you know, anchors reaching out there hoping to hook and hold others into certain ways, or my project or a piece of writing or whatever it is, you know, that's a real red flag. And I try to assess that and wonder what it's about and say to myself, why am I doing that? Why do I care? You know, or whatever. There's many different scenarios because, you know, there's different reasons that happens. But the assessment of it, and taking the time to do that for yourself, valuing yourself enough to do that, that's real self-love. When we just do things to feel good, when we just throw everything out there, we don't worry about our anchors and entanglements, and that's when it turns into self-absorption, because later on you'll find yourself thinking, 20 minutes into a whole, this person could think this way about the way that I said this earlier, or oh no, this painting that I made is going to be interpreted in the wrong way, or you'll be on the internet, checking comments and fighting back with people, or waiting for notifications on a phone, or like, very externally distracted, and trying to build up yourself. That's really what you're doing when you're doing things like that. And it is because you're lacking that original self-love, So stop it. Instead, notice and get back to that original place. And like I said at the very start of the video, if you're unsure of that original place, really that's where we start at. So go and look at, into what you feel your purpose is, what your alignments are, what makes you feel good, and what makes you feel fearful, shameful, embarrassed, uneasy, scared. Don't turn a blind eye to those things. Assess them for what they are and accept them for what they are. And allow your stronger sides and your affinities and the things that you're good at to bleed over there, and help out those things that you're not so good at, right? And you'll see that actually there's a working there, and that's shadow work, shadow and light work. And if you don't know anything about that, or you're new to that, I make a ton of videos on shadow work. So go check them out. Maybe I'll link them in the descriptions below. But so crucial for self-love, self-assessment, and honest acceptance of yourself as is. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you'll tune in next time. In the meantime, you can always find me over on Telegram, t.me, Marie Speaks, or you can find me directly on my website, amariespeaks.com, where I offer all ton of free resources, videos, tips, and tools on all kinds of things, introspection, spirituality, and happiness. So yeah, have a beautiful day or evening wherever in the world you are. Thank you again so much for watching my video, and I'll catch you next time.